there's 3 reasons why I need to interrupt this video. Reason number 1 is the fact that this is episode 2, but it was supposed to be episode 1. If that's a little confusing, go watch my Bandler and Pickles video that I posted before this one after you're done watching this video, so you'll understand that a little more because I explained that a little better. But basically, not every business in Santa Fe is filmer friendly or YouTube friendly and wants someone coming in their business and filming a video, which is pretty understandable. So the reason why I left some of attractions out of this, and like the Cathedral Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi, things like that, is because they require you to sign a contract. That contract can take up to 2 months to get approved. 2 months. I don't even know what I'll be filming in 2 weeks because I'm a traveler. So it's really hard to plan based on that stuff, and I can't really say I'll be there in 2 months, and it was just really a mess. Reason number 2 is I want to say a big thanks to all the businesses that made this possible. This includes Meow Wolf, New Mexico History Museum, El Rancho de las Golondrinas, San Miguel Mission, and New Mexico State Capitol. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to film this video. I wouldn't have been able to make it without getting approved by them for me to come in there and film. So thank you guys so much if you're watching this. You're amazing. Make sure everyone go support them. Reason number 3 is because this was my first time ever picking up a camera and vlogging or making a video. So I really didn't know what I was doing. And if you compare my episode 1 to this one, you'll tell that that one was a little better because I had had more practice because I was filmed after this one. So that's why I'm here narrating instead of just letting you watch the vlog, because it's not that good and I felt like I didn't want to make you sit there and have to watch a not so great video. Alright, let's go explore Santa Fe now. It doesn't feel right being here in modern day. New Mexico Constitution here. And just the smell of everything and just seeing that, like thinking that those papers are over 100 years old. Hey everyone, welcome to Road and Wing Adventures. My name is Jaden, and today we're here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, one of the oldest cities in the US, and we're going to be looking at the top things to see here during your visit. Let's get started. Alright, first up on our list is the New Mexico State Capitol building, also known as the Roundhouse. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm taking you to a government building, but this building is pretty cool because it is famous for being the only round Capitol building in America. As you walk through the hallways, you can tell that you're in a round building because everything has this slight curve to it. When you walk through really long hallways, it honestly feels like you're going through an endless void of just nothingness. Another famous part of the Roundhouse is the 60-foot rotunda in the center of the building with a Zia symbol in the middle. This place is full of different artwork like this, and it's just a nice place to walk around and check out artwork, or, just see the Senate or the House, but I couldn't film in there because there's no filming allowed. Next up, we have the San Miguel Mission, which is the oldest church structure in the United States. It was built in about 1610, and the walls you still see today are the original walls of the church, and the church is also still used for services regularly. Now, inside the church is a really nice environment, and it's actually quite bigger inside than it looks outside. Next up, we have the altar in the church, and the altar was built by Tlaxcalan Indians from Mexico, and let's head on to our next attraction. Next up, we have what is supposedly the oldest house museum in America. Okay, the oldest house in America, which is not, was built in 1646, and now is this great museum that you can see in Santa Fe, and it's actually free to walk around. And as you can see, it's a really nice place to just check out in Santa Fe with plenty of artifacts like, pots and other stuff that would have been used back then if people were living then. So it's definitely just a piece of history in the middle of Santa Fe which you can check out, and you can be done through the museum in about 10 minutes. Next up is the Loretto Chapel. The Loretto Chapel is obviously most famous for its miraculous staircase inside, which is a spiral staircase being held up on one step. Now, I wasn't allowed to film inside, so that's why you're not seeing that. Next is the Santa Fe Plaza, aka the city center of Santa Fe. Alright, so this stone marks the end of the Santa Fe Trail, which it was alive from 1822 to 1879. And here you can read a little bit of history about it. And when New Mexico was a territory before it became a state in 1912, this was really one of the trails that connected New Mexico to the rest of the U.S., as New Mexico wasn't even part of the U.S. at the time. And this is the central part of the plaza. So you can see there's plenty of shops down here, and sorry for the noise level. Next up is the New Mexico History Museum, which is a history museum about New Mexico history in Santa Fe. Times magazine from November 8th, 1948. So that's amazing. And then here's also some more older documents here. And then it's a view of Hiroshima showing the devastation after the bombing. And see, this was August 9th, 1945. Wow, that's old. Here's a map of New Mexico's hot springs. And you can see we're here in Santa Fe right there. So looks like the closest hot springs to us is Montezuma Hot Springs or Jemez Hot Springs. But yeah, New Mexico has quite a few hot springs. You can see there's about 9 on this map all around New Mexico. We have a few up here near Santa Fe, and then a few down in the kind of southwestern area. I feel like what's not shown is how big the palace is. Like walking down the hall, I think there's like 7 or 8 or 9 rooms, like just walking down. And it's crazy how big it is because it's not really shown. Like it's a mansion. It was a mansion, so it's huge. Look at all the rooms stretching down this hallway. There's so many rooms down there. It's crazy how long it just goes. Feels like it goes for on and on and on forever. So the Palace of the Governors is famous for this image, seeing indigenous sellers sitting outside of the palace next to the plaza selling goods to locals and tourists. Next up is the Cross of the Miters, or historic Fort Marcy Park, which is this cross that sits up on a hilltop overlooking Santa Fe. The cross has a really nice view of Santa Fe, so definitely come up. Alright, next on our list is Canyon Road, or the Arts and Crafts Road. Now, I couldn't film here for copyright reasons, but if you're someone who loves art, definitely check it out. And next, we have the Santa Fe Rail Yard, which is probably most famous for the Santa Fe Farmers Market and the Santa Fe Artists Market. Here's some footage from the Farmers Market. Next up, we have Meow Wolf, which is this immersive art experience, and it's incredible. But definitely not least is El Rancho de las Golondrinas, which is a ranch-turned museum dating back all the way to the early 1700s. Well, this right here is a torreon, or tower. And now it's kind of like ruins now, but it was a built up tower back when the ranch was not a museum, and yeah, but now it's like this. Yeah, so it looks like there's some frogs in there, and I just saw a duck earlier actually, but don't see it anymore. But there was a duck. The doorways are so low. I'm literally almost as tall as it, but it's so low. It's crazy. Well, there are 3 reasons why the doors are actually so short. Now, a lot of people think that the people were really short is why the doors were short, but that's actually not why. It's because it took a while to get the wood. So the people who built the doors would have to go 3 days into the mountains, and then it would take 4 or 5 days to drag the wood back here. And that's a week in total just to get some wood. So the shorter the doors are, the less wood they had to get, the more doors they could build. Number 2 is the smaller the opening, the less hot it will be. So in these rooms, it's really, really cool inside. That's because the doors are smaller so that there's less way for heat to get in the rooms. And number 3 is that so they could have easily defense, because if I come in here, you could see the door is really small and it's as tall as me. So when people came in, they had to step down like this and then come in. So it was really easy because you had the advantage when you were inside. So you could take out your enemy pretty easy because they had to come in one by one by one. So the name El Rancho de las Golondrinas means the ranch of the swallows, if you were wondering, because it's Spanish and that's what it translates to in English.